from Picturo. I got a notification to a deleted video, lol.
Whatever we do, change is coming. Comedy with the implosion of our imperium, and it's coming with the rapid degradation of the ecosystem itself. And there's nothing we can do to stop it. It's how we cope with this change. Will we respond rationally? Will we learn to speak to the world with a new humility and recreate structures within our own communities for sustainability? Or will we continue to live in illusion? And in a way, it's a matter of awakening ourselves to our new reality and responding to it.
I also pushed the wrong button there too. I turned it off when I wanted to turn it on. Welcome back. Hey, wait, how did that get back over there? Welcome back to another episode of the best worst show on the internet. Oh yes, I know you're ready for it. It's another episode of Griftcast IRL, and I'm your host, Manuel Chavez III, or the turd, depending on how you know me. That's right, depending on how you know me. So greetings to all of you friends out there in the chat room or whatever. Hopefully you guys are excited for another excellent Tuesday. Yes, an excellent Tuesday. We gotta say what's up. Do some shout outs out there in the chat to all of the great people that came on through in the very beginning, like J.R. Riggs, Bowley Picks Hero, Mr. Harry. How you doing? How's it going to Susu? Good to see you. What's going on to Faded History? How you doing, my friend? How's it going to Harry? Oh, I already said hi, Harry. Hello to Virginia Olsen. How's it going to Cool Cat? How's it going, my dude, Scroats McGoats? How you doing, Acrid Fusion? What's going on there, MB? And how's it going, Life Once Lived? And then also, hello to Squiggles McJr. out there in the chat room. Hello to all my subscribers. Please take this time now to make sure you hit that like button and share this thing with your friends so that we can get even more friends out here and available on the show for us today. Yes, for us today. So honestly, probably going to be pretty interesting. I think we did pretty good yesterday, cutting things off on over to Rumble after getting our little strikes or whatever. We still haven't heard anything back from Homeboy that hit us yesterday. He seems to be just way too busy with all of his hard work to do anything having to do with YouTube, even though he definitely took the time to directly strike my video with the manual review, which is pretty fucking ridiculous if you ask me. So we're just going to go ahead and file a counterclaim on that dude and then make him sue us because he's a dumbass. Either way, it's going to be an interesting day, I think, for me and anybody else that's associated with the channel. Do got to say, appreciate you guys coming on through here. Appreciate the Tedecoy and C and everyone else out there in the chat that just came on through and said what's up. But as you know, over here on the Griftcast, we're here to grift, baby. That's right. We're here to grift, baby. And one of the main things that you could do to help the grift out here is go check out our link tree with all of our fantastic links that have all of the great things and stuff that you guys could go check out associated with our show. And I know exactly what you're thinking. This is exactly what I want to do. And it's what you should do because we really got a lot of really great stuff for you guys to check out. And as always, don't be sleeping on the Griftcast IRL merch shop. There is a wonderful merch shop where you could go buy fantastic items that you can wear to show your support for the store. And just look at it this way, man. All you're doing is putting out some information. That's all you're doing is putting out some information and getting some stuff. Actually, no, you're putting out some money and getting some free stuff. That's really the way that it's supposed to be happening, or at least the way that it's supposed to be rolling out. So we appreciate y'all coming on through here, and always definitely pick up some merch. It helps out the show and it helps us, keep things going and whatnot, because that's kind of what we got to do. And I mean, yesterday was a day. Oh boy, yesterday was a day, man. It was a day. Got to be real careful with how we're going to talk about yesterday. All I got to say, though, is definitely pray for Nashville. There has been some interesting developments and stuff like that. We'll get on towards the tail end of the show when we switch to being Rumble only. Outside of that, I think that we can kind of discuss things and allude to where we're going in the near future. Because, I mean, if you're not over there on Rumble and checking us out, we don't know what the censorship waves are going to be doing here. But I don't know. I've been pretty good at calling it, my friends, if you haven't noticed. And it feels like we're about to be getting another one, because it seems like people are getting suspended from Twitter and other places from simply just talking about certain things. Specifically, I guess something about a trans day of vengeance or something like that. But there's been a lot of folks that have been getting suspended on Twitter all of a sudden for, I guess, reporting the news. I've noticed that Luke Rosiak and a couple other people actually got their tweets deleted because they were sharing a little piece of information that talked about a day of vengeance that may or may not have included some trans type individuals. So why did they get suspended? Was it for reposting the same kind of materials over and over and over again, or what? I don't actually really know. I don't know, but it does definitely seem like there are some type of ops that are happening today for sure. Like even Libby Emmons from the Post Millennial had even came out saying that Andy No himself, Twitter pig himself, actually had to actually get locked out as well and was made to delete tweets. So was the Post Millennial themselves, which I thought was pretty interesting. Radical trans activists and as DC group are organizing a trans day of protest, and that was on March 22nd, and that thing got locked out. You see that? We were locked out of our account for this tweet, linked our organization for reporting the Trans Day of Vengeance that was being organized by 4 left activists. And you know, this is right on the outside of this. Like, most of this stuff was happening almost a week ago, and now we've had a bunch of different people getting locked of their accounts. Even Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene got locked out of her Twitter account with a 6-day or a 7-day lockout. And it's not her basic Twitter account. No. It's not the basic Twitter account. It's her actual representative account. It's her government account that got locked out for what she tweeted out, which I thought was kind of strange. Ooh. Yeah. It almost kind of seems like there's something going on here. You know what I'm saying? Kind of seems like that censorship engine that we saw running at full steam a couple of years ago is back into full force, and now they're doing it associated with the event in Nashville, which is something that we could definitely say anybody could have called that from the very beginning, but all of a sudden, Ella G. Irwin's getting inundated because Twitter is locking people for literally nothing. Even Brandon Straka got put out there, although he was saying transurrection, and that's probably not like something that you should be saying at all. Yeah, not something that you should be saying at all. And even Ian Miles Chong, the cock smoker himself, says Twitter is now cracking down on those who promote the Trans Day of Vengeance poster, which mostly comprises of trans militants who are calling for a day of mass violence. Do not share the poster or you could end up caught in the bans to prevent mass violence from happening. Correct. We automatically sweep the platform and removed less than 5,000 greater than 5,000 retweets of this poster. We do not support the tweets that incite violence, irrespective of who posts them. Vengeance does not imply peaceful protest. Organizing or support for peaceful protest is okay. So yes, now the word vengeance is no longer part of a vernacular, which is something that I guess trans folks should have probably thought about before they were putting it out there. But I would like to point out that the original accounts posting out this poster haven't seemed to actually have gotten suspended. No. It was everybody sharing it after the fact they got suspended. But it seems like, I don't know, the original posters were the ones that actually got put out there. Even Andy No got hit with one of them. In recent months, rhetoric about carrying out revenge and vengeance on society and for some states restricting medical transitioning of minors has surged. Throughout my reporting of Antifa, I've long observed that the disproportionate number of violent Antifa members are trans. Still, their rhetoric has become more openly violent recently as they feel emboldened by the Democrats and the mainstream left. And, I mean, is this all just like a game that's put into context? Or we got to put this into context. So is this like a game? Is this like a psychological operation that's being pushed forward onto people? Because when I look at it, I'm looking at the wording and then the specificity on the day. They're talking about assembling at Sockness on April 1st, which colloquially is known as April Fool's Day. So are a lot of people on the right getting trapped within a fool's errand? Is there something even greater happening here that people aren't aware of? That's the kind of thing that I'm looking at here. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I'm looking at here, guys. this whole trans ideology thing doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and then this poster that's getting everybody banned all of a sudden also doesn't make a lot of sense on its face value. Like, why would they utilize that? Why would they utilize that day in this type of terminology without anything happening? And obviously people are backtracking pretty heavily because, you know, like, obviously something happened yesterday that was not very good. And here we are watching how people are getting nuked left and right. And this is on Elon Musk's free speech Twitter, right? This is on the Elon Musk platform where anybody is supposed to be able to do anything, and it's supposed to be a fun place. But we've already been able to prove throughout the Eliza Blue situation that it's the same old Twitter. And now we just got another crack at seeing exactly that it is, in fact, the same old Twitter. Yes, it's the same old Twitter. But yeah, it's not the first time that Andy No got locked out of his account, but the actual account, R Rights DC, the one that was calling for violence and all that other stuff, they didn't get locked out. They just protected their tweets, and they're totally just fine, right? They're totally fine. Oh, yeah, Ella Irwin's like, yeah, we're getting rid of all these other people that were talking about all this stuff because we don't like them, but, like, we're not going to get rid of the person that actually started the whole thing anyways, right? So, is it exactly what we thought? It's exactly what I thought. Or at least it's exactly what I thought. It's exactly what I thought. They were just setting this thing up. They were trying to make people get in trouble for things, and then out of nowhere, everything gets changed right in front of our faces, and people are getting suspended. And, you know, look at this. It says, Our Rights DC. So that means that we should be able to find it on Twitter, right? Our Rights DC. They're still on Twitter. They got a lockdown account. They didn't even get suspended. Maybe they're on a 7-day for posting or whatever. We don't know. They've completely shut it. They're completely locked down. That's why people go private, so that they could delete tweets. So were they actually going to have some community effort that was going on? Maybe, probably. And were they doing so in order to get people caught up? Well, yep, they did. They did exactly. And no matter what happened yesterday, they still seem to have succeeded, right? They still seem to have succeeded in their nefarious plot to basically get people shut down. And now we have a bunch of big voices that all of a sudden are getting shut down over this situation. And I mean, it's a lot of different people. Like Sean Davis is getting shut down for violating the rules against violent speech, may not threaten, glorify, harm, desire, whatever. This is the same thing that we're seeing over and over and over again. Okay? So if we're seeing it happening here, that means that in history, how has it worked? It starts on Twitter and then it flows to the other platforms. Twitter's always first to the table with all of the big bannings and stuff like that. And then YouTube, Facebook, and everyone else follow suit, right? But there's a many people that have gotten it. Gays Against Groomers founder, the gay who strayed, was locked out for 12 hours with not even an indication as to what rule that they violated. They just violated it, so they were gone. And that's very reminiscent about what happened to me when I got suspended on the Manuel DeFango account, right? Yeah, it kind of seems super crazy, but maybe we're finally getting into a spooky sort of something that nobody even knew about, because there's been a lot of rhetoric around this thing too, right? Pro-gun rhetoric. Like, here's Cenk Unger 3 days ago. 3 days ago, Cenk Unger said this over on TYT.
I'll be a little bit of a hypocrite here, but it's not. I'll explain why I'm saying it. I don't like guns. I would ban assault weapons in a second. We can go on and on about the gun control that we need in this country. And I always tell people, don't get guns. It'll make you less safe. I'm going to make an exception here for trans people. They are actually in danger. They have had hundreds of laws passed against them. They have right-wing media ginning up fear against them 24/7. They are targeted more than any other group in America. And if anyone
Rumble
should
for
get
Android
guns,
has
it should
chat
be
down
trans
Pyramid
Americans.
7. That's great.
Okay, because I'm worried for them. I'm worried that the right-wing lunatics are going to attack them as they have over and over again. And by the way, it's not just right-wing lunatics. Other people attack trans folks as well.
Yeah. 3 days ago, St. Ugar's like, yeah, they should be armed. They should have lots of weapons. They should be able to defend themselves, which I guess technically isn't wrong. But, ooh, how is this 3 days ago and then yesterday? Yeah. You know, here's what Tucker Carlson said about the same exact event, but they have a completely different take. And this is just from last night.
We seem to be watching the rise of trans terrorism. The man who tried to murder Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh after the repeal of Roe v. Wade, identified as a, quote, trans gamer girl. The man who shot up a nightclub in Colorado in this past November and murdered 5 people, identified as non-binary. And now this. And there could be more. Antifa has announced this coming Saturday is the, quote, Trans Day of Vengeance. Vengeance for what? That's not explained. But the suggestion is there will be violence in Washington this weekend.
See, everybody's doing the same thing. See, mainstream media news platforms the information. Do you understand how it works now? Like something goes viral on Twitter now, and it goes viral on Twitter. The people over at the big news channels, Fox News, CNN, whoever the heck, whatever side, just say, hey, if it's a left-leaning thing, it goes to left-leaning news. It goes to a right-leaning thing, it goes to right-leaning news. Seems pretty standard or whatever. But it makes it onto something like Tucker, and then all of a sudden it gives them carte blanche to start going after people, right? That's exactly what we're seeing here. So now, if we're going to be sharing this online or whatever, because I'm saying that people should not be going to this. I'm saying that it's not a great idea, you know, to any of my trans associates out there that watch this show, if you still exist, this is not the type of thing that you should be doing. Like, we're all tired of the bullshit, and then pulling something up like this is just way too far, right? Like, with anything, rhetoric could damage people irreparably. And that's what we're dealing with right now, is a fight for rhetoric, because we can see how the left is treating it. We can see how the right is treating it. And it's just not a good look for either side.
You're not supposed to talk about any of this, apparently.
You're not
and the
supposed to
authorities
talk
in
about
Nashville certainly are not planning to talk about it. They're doing their best not to. But somehow we can't see the manifesto in which the killer explains why she killed.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? It's not accidental. Well, you know exactly why it is. Because it would make the obvious undeniable. The trans movement is targeting Christians, including with violence.
And I don't disagree with that statement, because I agree with it. You know, I'm a Christian. Specifically, I'm a Catholic. I mean, I was, you know, made a Catholic or whatever, and according to Catholicism, I mean, you could try to not be a Catholic, but once you're baptized or whatever, you could go into some other heathen religion, but you're still going to end up dealing with the Catholic shit. Yeah. So rhetoric is where we're at. Again, obviously, we got anti-trans rhetoric that's coming out, because obviously this is only one individual that decided to go do something, and everyone on the right is immediately jumping on all of the big characters that we've all seen, sharing all the information. And I mean, we did the same investigation that everyone else did yesterday, and we found more stuff than pretty much everyone. No one even has put up or even said a peep about the 4chan post that was made that predicted something happening on Monday, right? Nobody's spoken about it. And for what reason? And even more so, some of the other big investigators that obviously investigate the same type of stuff that I've looked into have even been very remiss in even trying to make a thread about any of this stuff. And that, to me, says that there's some fetty shit going on here. You know what I'm saying? It seems fishy. It smells really, really bad to me, okay? And being a religious person who's fucked up or a fucked up individual. I don't know about that. But to me, it definitely smells really, really bad, right? Like, my radar is going off and saying, yeah, there's definitely a huge fucking problem over here that people aren't seemingly being aware of. And I think people should probably take a little bit more focus into that specific thing. Because if you can't believe in a higher power and morality, that's where we fall into these situations in the first place. And it's really hard to find in the last little bit that there's been anybody that's been doing anything associated to this sort of thing for religious reasons alone. Yeah. Just think about that. Think about where they're trying to take us, right? It feels like they're taking us on a trip in their favorite rocket ship. But how is this all applied to something else or anything else? I think it's just there, you know. We live in a world that has instant gratification for everyone, and people don't take the time anymore to even take a communion with the higher power, whatever higher power it may be that you might believe in, whether it's Buddha, Ganesh, fucking Jesus, that dude that the Israel people worship, that black cube in fucking Mecca. I mean, I don't give a shit or whatever, you know, just believe in something. Hopefully it's at least yourself, right? Looking back, though, it's like probably the most interesting piece of information about Nashville that came out were these messages, right? The Instagram messages that everybody's been sharing out. Somebody, a former middle school teammate of Audra Hale, looked at her phone to find a message from the coveted school shooter on Instagram. Aravana. Okay, Patton said that she had a message that Hale planned to die by suicide and that Patton would see it on the news. But yeah, there's the message right there. So basically that post they made on here about you, that was basically a suicide note. I'm planning to die today. This is not a joke. We'll probably be hearing me about the news after I die. This is my last goodbye. I love you. See you in another life. Audrey, quotation marks, Aiden. Audrey, you have so much more life to live. I pray to God keeps and covers you. I know, but I don't want to live, or I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to upset you or get attention. I just need to die. I wanted to tell you first because you're the most beautiful person I've ever seen and known in my life. Yeah. Yeah. Spooky as fuck. Scary. Even. Bone chilling. Like, this is a person that premeditated this, made posts on Instagram about this before it happened, even posted on 4chan about this, right? Gotta take all that into account, like the amount of thought process. So there was a manifesto, they had a plan, they posted on 4chan. It follows the exact same everything that we had seen in many other shootings that have happened. What, Lunchy? Oh, I got a lick. Oh, I got some more licks. What's up? What's up, sweet peepees? Sorry. So yeah, I hope that person rots some birds in hell. And we'll get back into that one a little bit later when we go Rumble only over here on the end times, because yeah, it's really weird. Yeah, now it's time to have a little bit of a lunchy break. Hi, lunchy break. What's up, lunchy punchies? What are you, like, hungry over here? Oh yeah, you're a little hungry. She's like, Daddy, where's my specially formulated, expensive as fuck Chihuahua food, Daddy? Where's my expensive as fuck Chihuahua food? What are you looking for? You looking for chicken or something? There ain't nothing up here. There ain't nothing up there, Lunchy. Not today. There's no chicken just hiding out of reach for you today, Lunchy. If there was, though, we have it. She's over here. She's sniffing. She's looking. She's scavenging. She's hungry. You hungry? We got to keep you skinny. We're keeping you skinny, Lunchy. No fat chicks. Daddy doesn't like fat chicks. He likes them a little fat. I don't like, obese. I love the lunchy. Okay, so now let's start diving into the other news. And then, actually, this isn't the other news that I wanted to talk about. It was this. Wait, this. Yes. So, all this censorship and stuff that's been coming forward and happening to people seems to be coming to a head with the specific act that has just been introduced, right? Something that they're trying to do that's very, very, very insane. A new bill called the Restrict Act. Yes, restricting the emergence of security threats that risk information and communications technology act, or simply the Restrict Act. And if you've been following along for any bit of time with us, you've been hearing me trying to detail to you that this has basically been going on for a lot longer. The start of the building of the framework happened a long time ago, and this is basically like the Patriot Act 2.0, increasing the amount of power that the government could have and authorizing them to classify individuals in a myriad of different ways that would allow them to basically do whatever they wanted to do with your information. Kind of like how they can already do that now, but they have to get FISA warrants and secret wiretaps and stuff in order to be able to make it. But yeah, now it's actually a bigger thing, a bigger challenge. And think about that. Restrict Patriot Act, Restrict Patriot Act. They're like the same thing, right? Restricting the emergence of security threats that risk information and communications technology. Vendors from the U.S. and allied countries have supplied the world's information communication technology for decades. In recent years, global ICT supply chain has changed dramatically. A number of prominent foreign vendors, many subject to the control of autocratic and illiberal governments, have gained significant market share in a variety of internet infrastructure, online communications, and network software markets. The growth and prevalence of these untrusted vendors pose a serious risk to the nation's economic and national security. The Restrict Act comprehensively addresses the ongoing threat posed by technology from foreign adversaries by better empowering the Department of Commerce to review, prevent, and mitigate ICT transactions that pose undue risk, protecting the U.S. supply chain now and into the future. Okay? So, we don't have a Restrict Politician Act. This whole entire thing seems even stranger to me, if you actually wonder about it, because this is exactly what we've been seeing happening over the last couple of years. Even when Donald Trump started trying to ban TikTok, because this is kind of all wrapped up into what TikTok wants. So if you're with them banning TikTok, this is the way that they're basically trying to do it, and it's incorporating and encapsulating everything that we could actually possibly imagine. Okay, so the challenge over the years, foreign technology, including telecommunications equipment, social media creation, security softwares, e-commerce platforms, have entered the U.S. market and become increasingly embedded within our information and communications networks, posing novel threats to U.S. citizens' data, critical infrastructure, and the privacies of Americans and business communications over our information ecosystem and security of everyday products. Notable ICT products such as Kaspersky antivirus software, telecommunications equipment supplied by Huawei, there's a name that you remember, and software products from firms based in the People's Republic of China gained traction, while the United States government struggled to identify and respond to threats posed by these products in a timely manner. Growing concerns with consumer software vendors in the PRC, such as ByteDance's TikTok, Tencent's WeChat, Alibaba's Alipay, have serious concerns about the lack of consistent policies to identify threats posed by foreign ICT products and insufficient authorities to act decisively and comprehensively to address them. Further illuminating these concerns, the top 2 apps by absolute download in the United States from January 2023 to February 13, 2023 were from the PRC members Temu and ByteDance. Individual agencies have attempted to utilize various authorities to address foreign ICT threats within their own jurisdictions, but efforts have obviously been disjointed, failed completely to address identified risks, or simply provoked slow and undersuited to the complexity and interconnectedness of the global ICT supply chain. Further, these efforts often rely on antiquated authorities delegated to by the president, by Congress in a pre-digital age. Yep. So, the more that you look into this, the easier it's going to be able to see. See, they want to tell you that they're not ready. The government is saying, oh, well, all this stuff came forward in a pre-digital age, and that's why in the digital age, or at the beginning of the digital age, we started the Patriot Act, right? That was supposed to be them getting into seed with the rest of these things. And outside, out of nowhere, now they're saying it again, and they're saying that they need more power. They need more power to restrict these things because they don't technically think that they have the ability to do that now. So their solution is a novel one, right? They want to establish risk-based processes tailored to the rapidly changing technological and threat environment by directing the Department of Commerce to identify and mitigate foreign threats to information and communications technologies, products, and services. This measured risk-based approach is essential, especially vital in the context of personal communication services where federal courts have blocked prior efforts to take remedial steps against foreign software vendors as insufficiently tailored based on this insufficiently substantiated risks. The restricting the emergence of security threats that risk information in the Telecommunications Technology Act would require the Secretary of Commerce to establish procedures to identify, disrupt, deter, prevent, and prohibit and mitigate transactions involving information and communications technology products in which any foreign adversary has any interest in poses undue acceptable risk to national security, prioritize evaluation of ICT products used in the critical infrastructure integral to telecommunication products, or pertaining to a range of defining emerging foundational disruptive technologies with a serious national security implication. So, yeah, not only do they want to be able to stop and help the regular infrastructure, they also want to figure out what they're going to do with those pesky emerging technologies and disruptive technologies like Bitcoin and other types of situations of that nature. Even encryption products would follow under that purview. They would also ensure comprehensive actions to address risks of untrusted foreign ICT by requiring the Secretary to take up consideration of concerning activities identified by the USG entities and educate the public and businesses communities about the threat of requiring the Secretary of Commerce to coordinate with the Director of National Intelligence to provide classified information on how transactions denied or otherwise mitigated pose undue or acceptable risk. So, as you can see, this thing here is basically telling folks that these individuals are asking for a lot more power because they're trying to basically get themselves in front of everything, right? They want to be able to control digital currencies in order to usher in a central bank digital currency. So in this way, they seem to think that they would be able to mitigate any type of damage that could or could not come from this particular situation, which I find to be very suspicious and very, very strange if you hadn't seen it. Yeah. Like, I think it's pretty strange, but like, this is exactly what they were passing out to individuals. This is what they were reading while they were trying to sell this act to everyone. But, you know, it gets a little bit weirder here. Wait. If you're looking for anyone here, it says, oh my God, the Restrict Act is so bad that ChatGPT thought it was satire. Now that you've read the entire document, reply with understood and let me know that you've retained the information from the bill. Understood. Thanks. Now, based on the PDF file they just linked, the Restrict Act Bill S686 discuss the potential consequences of this bill and might have on the rights and privacy of American citizens. The PDF document you shared is actually a parody bill. It's not a real congressional bill. The document appears to be a satirical take on the controversial Patriot Act signed into law in 2001. Its potential consequences to online freedom and speech and digital privacy. As a language model, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they went with 686 instead of 666. So a lot of people have been talking about this and getting into it, but it's literally kind of deep, right? VPN users risk 20-year jail sentence under new U.S. Restrict Act. Oh, yeah, because the TikTok ban bill targets more than just TikTok and just social media. It targets everything. That's right. The state would be allowed to police all communications platforms. And by the way, the internet is a communications platform. See, right now, there are police on the internet. There are investigators on the internet. But it's only up to a certain point. This act would actually give them the 100% ability to police the internet, much like the same way that they would in the Communist Republican channel. Yeah. Seriously. Can we just get rid of this like piece of trash that's been spamming my chat, dude? Like, who is this person? Like, goodbye. It's like, goodbye, you piece of garbage. We ain't censoring like China. We just get rid of fucking idiots with bad opinions. So, yeah, here we go. So, as we're talking about this, they're talking about being able to fine people for things they did on the internet, take away people's ability to use the internet, make it so that it's almost illegal for you to use a VPN, and using one would give you fines, right? That's what they're talking about. U.S. lawmakers, they're trying to sell it to you as that, yeah, we're just using it so that we can protect everybody from China and, you know, like these bad things. But, out of nowhere, they're often going to be, they're also going to be targeting other types of technology, services for communication, proxy servers, VPN services, tunneling services, Tor. Yep. If the bill passes, it would attempt to identify information and communications technology products and services that pose undue or unacceptable risks. And guess what? That's going to include VPN software that's usually normally utilized to access banned software or websites, right? And it specifically directs the Secretary of Commerce to identify, deter, disrupt, prevent, prohibit, investigate, or otherwise mitigate any national security risk associated with technology linked to countries adversarial to the United States. So that would be anything made from Russia, anything made from China, or anybody that's not in our good graces right now. That's kind of what we'd be dealing with. Yeah. Seriously. So it's not just limited to TikTok. It's giving them entire carte blanche authority over the internet so they can do whatever the hell that they want to do. There's no question about it, right? And Sure, they're going to put TikTok on the chopping block and say, oh, well, it's about TikTok. You know, TikTok's the thing that we're all really worried about. And everything else is just kind of a little bit of small potatoes or whatever. That's where we're at on this one. That's what they're trying to tell you. But essentially, that's not, right? They're trying to slip this one past everybody and say, yeah, well, we're going to do what you want. We're going to get rid of TikTok, but we're also going to take over the internet and start just getting rid of things that we don't like. And if you've talked to somebody in China, somebody from China's invested in you, somebody from Russia's invested in your company, and you're a software vendor, well, guess what? You might lose that. That's what they're going for. That's what they're trying to do. And how is this going to affect the cryptocurrency market, folks? Where do most of the people that are creating cryptocurrencies reside? Is it the United States or some other country? I can't tell. And what about all the cryptocurrencies that originated from from one of those restricted countries? What would happen to an individual if they were caught utilizing a VPN or some other type of obfuscation system to hide the fact that they were still trying to sell it or get rid of it because, you know, the government banned it overnight? Have you thought about this? Right? Like most of you guys are like, well, I ain't worried about it. What about Satoshi Nakamoto? Do we know who he is yet? Has anybody been able to figure out who that guy is? Is he Chinese? Is he Russian? Is he American? Is he Mexican? Is he fucking from Guatemala? Is he living in Zimbabwe? You know, like where's Satoshi Nakamoto at? You know, like what's his nationality? How's Bitcoin gonna fall within all this? Because that could definitely be considered adversarial technology from a foreign power, especially if we don't know who runs it in the first place, right? Like, who fucking made it? Satoshi Nakamoto? Who is that? I mean, some people think he's dead. Some people think he's English. Some people think that he's just an American that had English tendencies when he wrote online and a night owl. Some people may never know. I don't think people ever know. Nobody's ever figured out the little hidden message in the first Bitcoin block. I mean, sure, they figured out the whole first part of it or whatever with the bank thing, but they never figured out that other part. Oh, yeah, it's fine. It's whatever. Something. Old type of encryption system, blah, blah, blah. Comes up with the name. The name's somebody you probably already know. Weird shit. So, FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried charged with the bribing of Chinese officials. Uh-oh. U.S. indictment alleges FTX founder directed payoff to regain access to more than $1 billion in frozen cryptocurrency. Bankman-Fried, bad boy, bribing Chinese officials to get money, I see. Huh? Yeah. Prosecutors accused FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried of conspiring to bribe Chinese government officials to gain access to more than $1 billion in frozen cryptocurrency in a new indictment that's charging with violating the U.S. anti-corruption law. The indictment, unsealed Tuesday, is the third in Mr. Bankman-Fried has faced since the collapse of the crypto exchange. It alleges that in 2021, he authorized bribing of one or more Chinese government officials with at least $40 million in cryptocurrencies to regain access to the accounts that the country's law enforcement had frozen as a part of a continued investigation into a party that traded with his crypto investment firm, Alameda Research. Yeah, I kind of see that's to be a little bit thing, and I don't use a VPN, Philly. I don't use a VPN. That's probably your VPN. Yeah, Squiggles Big Jr. said, I remember you telling McAfee you do. Yeah, I do know. But, like with QAnon, no one's ever going to believe me. The accounts were held with the two largest cryptocurrencies exchanges that held more than $1 billion cryptocurrency. So, if they were held in the largest Chinese cryptocurrency exchanges, that's got to be Binance and some other one, right? Is that what we were looking at? I mean, it's just kind of funny. But it is funny because we're talking about crypto. I'm telling you that this is about crypto, and this is the type of stuff. You know, the setup has been long running, guys. Like, they knew FTX was a fucking rat a long time ago, and they let it go on because they wanted to use it so they could show people that, oh, these cryptocurrencies aren't the best and they're not made for what you think they're made. You're going to have to trust ours because we're the government. We could do everything better. Just don't worry about all the banks shutting down and shit. Just don't worry about that. Just don't fucking worry about that. Right? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yep. Don't worry about it. Oh, by the way, the Nashville shooter legally bought 7 firearms from 5 different stores. That's right. So out of that firearms that they owned 7, but they only utilized 3 of them, which is crazy because I think I almost have that many guns now. But I've bought them all basically from the same. I bought them all from the same store or whatever. I just go in there and I'm like, oh, I like that gun. What kind of gun is that? Let me see it. What does that shoot? 9mm, 22. Give me that. Give it to me. Give me gun. I like guns. I really do. Like, who does it? I like 22s. I like 9mm. I like my 357 Magnum. I like my AR-15. I like my shotguns, you know. Although I definitely still need to get that P50 mag. I just can't see myself buying a 5.7 gun and that being the only gun that I own that could shoot that ammo. I don't feel like having to add a whole another fucking set of ammo to my shit. Well, we might have to deal with it anyway. But you know what? That's just some news. We'll save that for a little bit later. So, do you live in Philadelphia? Well, guess what? Your tap water is safe to drink until at least 11:59 p.m. Wednesday night. And then after that, you're on your own, bitches. That's right. That's right. Yes, Squigglesman Jr., the P50 is cool as fuck. But yes. Philadelphia Water, Philly H2O, has been testing, and they say that the water from the water drinking plant remains safe to drink and use at least through tomorrow. And then after that, you're definitely going to be having to drink yourself bottled water or whatever because the water's not going to be good for you. It ain't going to be good. Yep. Yeah, dude, for $3,000, I could get a P50, P90 set. See, like, I would like that. But that still, I don't have $3,000. I don't even have probably $2,000. So, the city says Philadelphia's tap water was safe to drink, cook, and shower with, but here in the near future, meaning tomorrow, after they run out of whatever's in the water treatment facility, that means that it's fucking bad. That means that you can't use it, which is a pretty bad situation if you think about it. It's an attack on all fronts. We're getting attacked in the banking system, water systems, electrical systems. On top of that, we've had massive like weather events that have been happening. There was blizzards and floods. We even had mudslides. There was just the recent gigantic tornado that was 100 miles that went 100 miles and was almost 2 meters or 2 miles in diameter at points. Yeah, things are totally fine, guys. Everything's going cool. Yeah, everything's going so cool that one of the guys that actually testified in front of Congress named Matt Taibbi, who is also a journalist, actually had IRS agents show up at his home after he testified from Congress. That's right. He testified from before Congress about all of the shady shit that was happening between Twitter and the censorship of Americans and stuff. And now, out of nowhere, dude is getting IRS agents showing up at his personal residence. Yeah, that's right. They wanted to talk to him about what was going on. We need to talk to you, just an individual from the IRS. We want to investigate your background, Mr. Taibbi. That's what we wanted to get. Yeah, Keltec sub 200. That's not a fucking good one. That ain't a good one. That's a shitty gun. I just thought that was kind of shad. Shows you how the government's really going after people. Although, probably in the most biggest news today, The families of the Sandy Hook victims have reached a $73 million settlement with gun manufacturer Remington today. I know a lot of you guys are happy about that one, probably. But yes, that Sandy Hook situation, the legal cases associated with it seem to finally be over today. Families of 5 children and 4 adults that were killed in the Sandy Hook shooting have received a $73 million settlement with now bankrupt gun manufacturer Remington and its 4 insurers, the plaintiffs and authorities said on Tuesday. That settlement comes more than 7 years after families filed a wrongful death suit against Remington, the manufacturer of the Bushmaster AR-15 style rifle that was used in a massacre that left 20 children and 6 dead adults in Newtown, Connecticut. Nope. The families have also obtained and can make public thousands of pages of internal company documents that prove Remington's wrongdoing and carry important lessons for helping prevent the future of mass shootings. Yep. So we had a mass shooting yesterday. I don't think that was a Remington Bushmaster AR rifle that individual was using. It looked like they had a sub 200, a 9mm handgun, and then an AR-15 style rifle that they just had slung over their shoulder and weren't actually using it. Yeah. Very, very ironic. So on one day, we got one wrongful death suit going forward, and on the other day, next day, we got something completely different. If you don't remember, the family sued Remington in 2014, alleging it should be held partially responsible for the shooting because of its marketing strategy. A 2005 federal law protects many gun manufacturers from wrongful death suits brought by family members, but the marketing argument was a new approach. The lawyers and plaintiffs contended that the company marketed rifles by extolling the militaristic qualities of the rifle and reinforcing the image of a combative weapon in violation of Connecticut law that prevents deceptive marketing practices. So, the Supreme Court decided not to take up an appeal by Remington in 2009, effectively allowing the suit to move forward. And now a settlement is reached without any party being found of any type of wrongdoing, because that's usually what a settlement is for. But now they're saying that they have a bunch of internal documents from Remington that they're going to release, and we're going to find out more on how they were marketing guns to children, right? And this is going to be a pretty big win, I would have to say, that the leftists are going to be standing on in this gun control debate over the next, couple of weeks here, because we have seen in the past that, yes, apparently, if the marketing is correct, or if everything is lined up correctly, you might actually be able to pull this one, because literally this suit probably wouldn't have been able to go over in a place like Texas or Arizona. But since Connecticut had that deceptive marketing law, they utilized it to basically shoehorn these guys into forcing them to go to trial, and then they basically ended up settling outside of the trial because it would have probably still cost them more anyway. So they're basically saying, yeah, by Remington, that now bankrupt company, accepting our settlement agreement, we're going to say we get $73 million and we get to expose them for, a bunch of different shit. Yep. And they said that the $73 million settlement is all available coverage that Remington insurance carriers could pay. The plaintiff's attorney said last summer Remington approached the families with a nearly $33 million settlement offer. At the time, lawyers and the families said that they would consider the next step. But basically, they said it did not accept the earlier proposal because they wanted to ensure that they had obtained enough documents and taken enough depositions to prove Remington's misconduct to ensure the case's message to the insurance industry was clear. So, they're really playing like some word salad association here, because when you get a case settled, you're not saying that you have any wrongdoing, right? And them trying to say, oh, we're getting all of these documents and stuff from Remington that shows misconduct. No, it actually says here that they've taken depositions that prove their misconduct, but that doesn't mean that they've actually gone to court. So like pretty much anything that they've gotten deposition wise could maybe be put out there, but it's almost very clear that they didn't actually get anything from this. And Remington says that, hey, it says whether asked in the settlement with Remington included admission of wrongdoing, Kostov says that he didn't know whether he could get into the details due to some confidentiality agreements, right? I don't know about you, but it definitely seems like this might be breaking some kind of confidentiality agreement on a settlement. Just saying. And shit, man, thanks Metal Monster PDX for that $10 super chat. We appreciate you. And thanks for monetizing the stream today. The only person sending in a little dolo for you, bro, today. We appreciate ya. Thanks a lot, because you know what? Shit be getting expensive and I'm poor as fuck. But we appreciate you. Your message says as follows. BS, the only person that should be held responsible should be the person with the trigger finger. Yep. I agree too. And I mean, the lawyers here are saying some shit. What I would say is proof is in the pudding. You have 4 insurance companies represented by different people. They all paid their very last dollar. They were looking at the same circumstances. Remington's bankrupt, so they're out. Yep, they did. They actually had to file for bankruptcy. So did they agree to anything? No. They just settled out of the court because their company got shut down because of all of this, right? Because they actually used this to go after a gun manufacturer and they succeeded in a small place. But is Remington, does it still exist? Yes, it still exists. It just went bankrupt, right? It just went bankrupt, didn't it? Remington Arms Company is an American manufacturer, right? Although, how long have they been in existence? Yeah, breakup. Remington fired for Chapter 11 protection in 2018, accumulated over $950 million in debt. Remington exited bankruptcy in May 2018, less than 2 months after filing protection under Chapter 11 laws. It's a quick exit from bankruptcy was due to the pre-approved restructuring plan by 97% of its creditors. On July 28, 2020, Remington filed again for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, and its assets were divided and sold to various buyers. The Remington brand name was bought by Vista Outdoors, which uses it to market several types of ammunition. After the breakup, 2 companies now use the name Remington Ammunition and Remington Arms LLC. That's right. So they just broke it up, restructured it, and that's there. But that's what's happening in the Sandy Hook situation, my friends. It is over. 100% over. But the wombs are probably going to be there to the very, very end. Yes. What's this?
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Benny. What happens when your practical joke actually ends up uncovering?
Ted Cruz proposed a school safety bill, and it was blocked on the Senate floor. Oh, wow, that was a long time ago. Wait, Senator Ted Cruz went to the Senate floor this week to seek unanimous consent for his proposed school safety bill, but it was blocked? Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat of Connecticut, objected to Cruz's legislation and criticized him for not being serious. This isn't real. This is a TV show. This is clickbait. This is theater. This is an actual attempt to pass legislation. Interesting. You guys remember that? You remember when Ted Cruz was trying to secure schools back in the day? Securing Our Schools Act 2022 would have provided $15 billion to double the number of school resource officers, $10 billion to hire 1,500 mental health professionals for middle school and high schools, and $2.56 billion for physical security improvements on school campuses. And that all came nearly 4 months after the Uvalde Robb Elementary School shooting that left 19 students dead and 2 teachers dead and another 17 injured. Everybody forgot about that one? I didn't forget.
Senator Ted Cruz, thank you so much. You are going to be introducing 2 pieces of legislation on the Senate floor with regards to school security.
Kind of seems like we should have
doing that, and please give us the highlights.
Should have had it, shouldn't we? Kind of seems like they should have done something with this, shouldn't they?
Well, the legislation I'm introducing is called the Securing Our Schools Act of 2022, and it focuses on making kids more safe. There's several critical components of it. One is doubling the number of police officers that are assigned to school campuses. The single biggest step we can take to make our kids safer is to have armed police officers on campus who can stop any assailant who would attempt to do harm to our children.
Yeah. Some people don't like Ted Cruz because he's the Zodiac killer, but sometimes he thinks about some shit. Yep, sometimes he thinks about some shit. Also, this morning, migrants have set fire to a detention facility, killing 40 people after learning that they would be deported back to Mexico. That's right. That happened. The president of Mexico announced today that a fire that was ignited by migrants facing deportation or fearing deportation resulted in the deaths of about 40 people in an immigration detention center in northern Mexico. The fire broke out Monday night in a facility located in Ciudad Juarez, which is situated across from El Paso, Texas, a major crossing point for migrants. The National Immigration Institute reported that 29 people were injured and are currently in a delicate, serious condition. The agency confirmed at the time of the fire, 38 men from Central and South America were being detained in the facility. Mexican Attorney General's office issued a statement identifying the dead and injured as individuals from Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador. Guatemalans were reportedly the largest group of victims, with 28 being dead citizens of that country. Guatemala's Foreign Affairs Minister Mario Bucaro said that his government is seeking to find those responsible for the tragedy. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador reported that the fire was started by migrants who were protesting after learning that they would be deported. Yeah. How's that not huge news in the U.S.?
That erupted in Mexico overnight, just across the border from El Paso, Texas. It happened at a detention center for migrants trying to reach the U.S. Mexico's National Immigration Institute says the fire killed 39 people and it injured 29 others. So Camilo
39 people dead, 29 others
as
dead.
It develops. He's joining us now. Camilo, it's good to see you. Do we have any information yet on the cause of the fire and anything about the people who were being held there? Well, I guess who were there.
Yes, good morning, Anne-Marie and Vlad. We know that more than 36 migrants have died in this tragic event in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. We know that these were migrants who were being held in an immigration detention facility run by the Mexican government in that northern Mexican city right across El Paso, Texas. This is an area where thousands of migrants and asylum seekers are waiting to enter the U.S. We understand that this was a detention facility where migrants were being processed.
Yeah. Kind of like horrible and tragic. You would think that you would be seeing it all over the place on the news, but it happened in Mexico, guys. So, you know what? Who knows? Chinese American bank willingly provided Biden family financial records, says the GOP Senator Ron Johnson. Wow. Cathay Bank handed over Biden family financial records, bro. So are we going to find a little bit more about what was going on with all of that weird money flowing all around the Biden family? All that Hunter China business dealings? Yeah. When you see this kind of connection between a sitting president, his son, and the Chinese government, when the people don't trust this and know how it's going to be one of the biggest threats facing us right now, that's how really big the issue is that needs to be addressed. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. While Cathay Bank was founded in the U.S. in 1962, it's currently headquartered in Chinatown, Los Angeles. They also house a representative offices in Beijing, Shanghai, and Taipei, according to the website. And it also claims to be America's oldest operating bank founded by Chinese Americans. Ooh. Yeah. Kind of seems like that's exactly what we thought. So the Biden administration still working with the Chinese Communist Party. Sounds like a whole lot of new normal shit. And then, what was this one from Just the News? I don't even know when this one got posted yesterday. Durham bombshell. Prosecutor unveiled smoking gun FBI text message joint venture to smear Trump. What? Let me see the text messages. I want to see the text messages. Let's see the text messages. What does he even say? Special counsel John Durham is revealing a new smoking gun evidence, a text message that shows Clinton campaign lawyer lied to the FBI while putting the courts on notice. He prepared to show the effort to smear Donald Trump with the now disproven Russia collusion allegations was a conspiracy. In that bombshell court filing Monday night, Durham for the first time suggested Hillary Clinton campaign, her researchers, and others formed a joint venture or conspiracy to produce or to for the purpose of weaving the collusions in a story to harm Trump's election chances and then the start of his presidency. Oh, damn. United States of America versus Michael Sussman? Criminal case? Huh. Oh, wow. They actually have stuff written down in here. This is pretty cool. I didn't hear about this. I didn't even get a chance to read all of this. But it definitely seems like we got something here, folks. Oh, so like, wait a minute. The Trump collusion Russia thing was a fucking hoax, and we already knew that? Yeah, we already knew that. Jim, it's Michael Sussman. I have something here time sensitive I need to discuss. Do you have availability for a short meeting tomorrow? I'm coming on my own, not on behalf of a client or company. Want to help the Bureau. Thanks. Yeah. The defendant lied in that meeting, falsely stating that to the general counsel that he was not providing the allegations to the FBI on behalf of any client. Durham's motion said, in fact, the defendant had assembled and conveyed the allegations to the FBI on the behalf of at least two specific clients, including a technology executive, Tech Executive One, and a U.S.-based Internet Company One, and the Clinton campaign. Oh, cool. That sounds really amazing. They hit it. You got to realize this shit is just too much for anybody. And then, yeah, we have another story here. Several barges loose on the Ohio River. One in Louisville, one carrying methanol is sinking. Oh, cool. They got barges?
Well, Jennifer, it's happening right upstream from our location here. And as you can see now live from WLKY Chopper HD, one of those barges is stuck against the dam and partially underwater. Louisville Emergency Management says it's carrying 1,400 tons of methanol. And according to the CDC, methanol is a toxic alcohol. However, Louisville Water says this incident is downriver from water intake. There is no impact to Louisville Water's water intake or water quality, so your water is safe to drink and use. The rest of the barges, by the way, carrying soybeans, corn, and oil. Louisville Fire has deployed hazmat monitoring, and LMPD and LFD are surveying the area until the barge's private company arrives on scene. A spokesman for the Corps of Engineers tells us they are coordinating with that private barge company to figure out a way to clean up this mess, get those barges off the dam and out of the river. And we are live tonight at Macoupin Dam. I'm Randall Cam, WLKY News.
Damn, WLKY News. Oh, cool. That sounds great. The environmental cabinet says that 10 of 11 barges got loose from a tug on Tuesday, and now they're all crashed into a fucking bridge. How fantastic is that? That's pretty fantastic, actually. All right, what do we have left up here today for all the bullshit? Oh, iSource News developing. Karine Jean-Pierre involved in a rear ender. Sources say the accident happened last night. No injuries in the accident. Biden's press secretary was all involved in a late-night collision near her home. She was the driver, said a witness on scene, but it was a fairly low-speed impact. She walked away from it. D.C. Metro Police are refusing to release the body cam footage of the Karine Jean-Pierre incident. Witnesses say she was slurring her words and had difficulty standing straight. Mystery driver picked her up shortly after the police arrived. What? Did she get arrested? Is that real? I don't know if that's real or not, actually. Let's see. Anybody else saying it? Why is anybody else talking about this incident? She was drinking on the job Friday. DC Metro Police refers to release the body cam footage. Said that she was slurring her words. Tricky 45, huh? How many subscribers do you have? About 1,000, huh? Yeah. Karine Jean-Pierre was involved in a rear-end accident yesterday. She was allegedly slurring her words, unable to stand, and they were refusing to leave the body cam footage. No DUI or ticket. Now that's a privilege. Yeah. I guess we gotta leave her alone, though, because she's a lesbian. You're right. You're right. You're right. We gotta leave her alone because she's a lesbian. That's right. That's right. So, damn, folks. Well, I think we cleared all of the regular links pretty nicely. We did everything that we needed to do. But now, unfortunately, to all my friends over on YouTube, it is now time to take this party over to Rumble so that we can have the Rumble's version of all of this, where we can speak a little bit more freely and give you a better understanding of how we feel in these particular situations. So I recommend, if you're over on YouTube right now, make sure you click the Rumble link that we just dropped into the chat for you guys, and I'll head on over for the after show, as it were. And we hope that we see you guys actually over there coming and checking out with us. So we hope that you guys have some time to do that, but much love to all my friends over there on YouTube. Hopefully you guys make your way on over to there, and we'll see you guys again on the next one. We're trying to build up that Rumble viewership and subscribership, and at the same time, we like to be able to talk where we're not going to have any type of issues with censorship, right? Censorship. So, see you later, YouTube folks. Have a great one. Thanks for stopping by. See you on Rumble. All right.